Today we're going to discuss A Plague's Tale: Requiem.
So, A Plague's Tale: Requiem is a third-person sneak stealth
Game?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much...
But let's not sell it short, though. There is a lot of action in the game, too.
Yes.
Because for anybody that doesn't like the whole sneak genre, you can a lot of times decide whether you actually want to fight or sneak.
Correct.
And you can do quite a bit of ranged combat and even a multitude of different ways.
Yes.
With the sling, you can throw little pots, all those types of things. The game, as a story, I guess, as far as genre goes, you're just moving and trying. Well,
it's like on rails. It's like an amusement park ride.
Yes, it is not an open world.
No.
There's
I mean, you can explore within the boundaries of the area that you're in.
Yes.
But you can't go outside of there.
Yes. And I do think they do a good job of hiding that it's making you move from point to point.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like some games that you're like, wow, I can't go anywhere but straight down this path.
Yes.
It actually makes you feel like you're out in an open world without allowing you to go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah, because of the sneaking that allows you to do, there's multiple paths to get to a specific place.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you enter the area, there's an entrance and an exit, and it's up to you to figure out how to get from point A to point B.
That's a good way to explain it.
And there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You could murder everybody on the battlefield, or you could just sneak around them all, or you could just take out a couple. I mean, it's really up to you on how you want to do it.
Yeah, I agree. That is a good way to look at it.
Visually, I would say the game is very good. It's one of the best games I've seen as far as graphics is concerned, because it's phenomenal how good it is.
Yeah, there are some very stunning views.
Yes.
I like the way people move. The AI can be a little bit wonky, but at times.
Yeah.
But visually, yeah, it looks great. The game looks really good.
Yeah, you could actually watch this as a TV show, or
absolutely,
a movie, or
I was thinking that as I was playing it. I was like, I would just watch this.
Yes.
I wouldn't even need to play the game. I would sit and watch it and be happy about it.
Yeah, they could break it down into 30-minute segments, and you could basically just make a series out of it, a TV series. It was that good. The story was fantastic. Mm-hmm. The graphics were great. The gameplay was really fun.
Yes.
I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never played the first one.
Yes, I hadn't either, actually. I thought that this was the first one. I had heard about A Plague's Tale. I guess it was called Innocence.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know the name of it at the time. And when I saw Requiem was coming out, I'm like, wow, they finally launched this game? I heard about this game like 5 years ago. Well, no, they actually had a game in 2019 that I just totally missed.
So did I. And it's kind of a shame. Now I really want to go back and play the first one after having played the second one.
I actually read through the Wikipedia on the first one just so that I could fill in the gaps in the story.
Oh, I went in blind.
Well, after I had already played.
Okay.
I went back and I'm like, because I was like, where did this even start? What did it come from? And so I went back and I read the whole synopsis of the first game's story.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, just reading that, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading the story on the wiki. So yeah,
which is weird because you typically don't like to read.
No,
I don't either.
So we're talking about the story, so let's just talk about the story, I guess.
Okay.
I thought it was amazing.
Yes, it was
amazing. I'm not. I don't want to give anything away, but it's a Plague's Tale, so
it may have to deal with plagues.
Yeah, and if you look at the some of the stuff, you're gonna see the plague, rats, France. All kind of adds up.
I'm thinking the people who wrote A Plague's Tale should have wrote season 8 of Game of Thrones is what happened. Because it's way better than a lot of the stuff that's out on TV and coming from Hollywood right now. It was very good.
Yeah. And honestly, length is, I would say, it depends on how long it's going to take you. Now, one thing that I don't want to get into gameplay just yet, but as far as story goes, I just kept going.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, is this actually going to end? Or because you think you're there, and then nope, something else happens, and here you are again off on another adventure. You know, it was good. And
so, what did you think of the gameplay as a whole?
I would say it's harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why, but man, I had to start over a lot.
I would make stupid mistakes.
Yes.
Like, you're supposed to stay, when the rats show up, you got to stay within the light, okay? If you deviate from that at all, the rats jump on you and kill you.
Yeah.
And there were times where I just simply wasn't paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
or I thought I could go farther out than I did, and I was mauled by the rats, I don't know, maybe 30 times.
Yeah.
Before I was like, I need to stay closer to the light.
Yeah.
I just never learned my lesson. I just would try to run through the rats. That didn't work. Because I'm a resource hog. I want to keep my resources close, and I don't want to, just throw them out. Yeah, without, because then you get to a point where if you need something and you don't have it, I didn't want to hit that point, so I would try to find a way around, and I would often get eaten by rats.
I think a lot of mine was I was just being impatient and trying to move too quick, and I'd get seen all the time,
Yeah.
And here I am now running from like 15 guys, and of course get slaughtered.
Yeah.
So I actually died a lot more than I thought I would. I really thought, just from watching like a trailer of the game, that I was gonna breeze through it and not have any problems. I thought it would be like just a story game, and not like a tough. Well, I wouldn't say it's tough.
It's not hard.
But
I mean, for a couple of old guys, I didn't think it was very difficult.
Yeah. But I just didn't think that I would run into as many problems as I did, I guess.
Wouldn't struggle nearly as much.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, because really I went into it thinking that from watching again the trailer type stuff, that it was just going to be story.
Kind of like Telltale games.
Yes.
Where it's literally just a story,
Cutscene,
you push a couple buttons and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And it's not that at all.
Yep. And so really it does the gameplay well and the story well. I think as a whole, both of those, well, I mean, it's graphics too. I mean, it's,
it all comes
it's
together.
good. Yes. Yeah.
Now, I did have a couple of gripes about it. No game is perfect.
Sure.
But it didn't detract away from the game whatsoever as a whole. Like throwing a stick down, like you can get sticks that last for a short amount of time to swing to get the rats away. If you were to pick one up and throw it on the ground, you can literally see it on the ground, but you can't pick it back up. You got to go back to the bundle and get a new stick. The AI for the enemy was okay. It's not the best in the world. Your companion never gets spotted. There's times where you go inside of a building and your companion is just standing outside and the guard will literally walk through him and nothing happens. So it's just small things like that. I get why they do that, because if your companion could be seen, it would make the game way more difficult.
Oh yeah, because and they just don't move right sometimes.
Correct.
And that would really, I think that would probably make people mad, and so they were just like, okay, companion's invisible, because you're hiding and your companion's like walking around trying to get into cover, but doesn't ever get there, and you're like, come on. You'd almost have to have like perfect AI,
or you crawl under a desk and like the AI their feet are sticking out like in a bad horror movie.
Now I mean that is one part of the gameplay that I didn't like. I don't know why they chose that, like to hide under
a desk,
a table that's 4 foot high, and the guard's not looking underneath it. It did pull me out a little bit right there.
No peripheral vision.
Yeah.
If I walk into a room and I don't look down, I can still see that there's something under a desk.
Yeah.
So
that is a criticism of it. But it is a game after all, and it in my opinion, a pretty good game. So I'm not gonna fault them for that.
No, you can't. I mean, it's hard to make something like that perfect, because every game does that. Every game has something where if you're hiding from somebody, it's not plausible that they wouldn't be seen.
Right.
Or it's the typical AI where if you do get spotted and you run away and hide, they're just like, oh, they must have left, and then they give up and walk away.
Right.
Or if they walk up and see their friend murdered, they're just like, hey, my friend's dead. Somebody did this, and they go, looking around, and they're like, well, he's dead. And then they go back to doing what they're doing, like, oh, I'll go tell friend's wife that he's not going to make it anymore.
That is one of the funny parts of it, too, is there'll be a dead guard on the ground, and a guy will walk up and he'll be like, what, are you sleeping there?
Wake up.
Wait.
And start kicking him.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's obvious the dude's dead.
So yeah, I would agree that those are the small quirks
Yeah.
that every game has,
Mhm.
but it should no way detract from the rest of the game
Yeah, absolutely.
as a whole.
Absolutely.
So the game itself is fully voice acted.
Yes.
It was actually very well done, I believe.
I actually looked up the actors. I was so impressed by it. Well, and do you know, one of the things that gets me is when I think of a game being fully voice acted, I think of like a Star Wars MMO where each character is voice acted.
Yeah.
No, this is voice acted even when you're moving from place to place.
Yeah.
The actors are talking to each other.
Yes.
It's you can't even like skip anything because you will miss dialogue.
Yes.
As you're running and you're going, like you're sent out on this quest to get something, they're talking the whole time. They're like having a conversation as you're controlling the character and moving around.
Yes.
Quite amazing.
And they're talking about things that are relevant. They're
Yes.
not just like, oh, so how's the weather?
Right.
Oh, it's sunny outside. They're actually talking about, what they should do when they get there, how they want to handle it, what are they think's going to happen, things that you would talk about if you were headed in that direction.
Yes. No repetitive, so it's not like, you were saying, when you walk out of every door, they're like, oh, look, it's raining. No, it's actual story content through the whole game.
Yes.
And that's not even to detract from the cutscenes and things like
Right.
that, because those are amazing as well.
Yes.
But yes, that really caught my attention right at first. I'm like, why are they talking to each other? We're just running down a path. Oh, but they're talking about exactly what we're going to do.
And how they should do it
Yes.
and all that. So it almost seems like they wrote the game as though they were trying to live in that moment.
Yeah, like it's a book. You
Yes.
know, everything is spelled out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great voice acting. So overall, what are your thoughts on the game? What is your conclusion? What is your recommendation?
I would definitely recommend this game to pretty much anybody. I don't think that I think that it excels at what it does so well that everybody would get some kind of enjoyment out of it. Even if you're a hardcore gamer, I like the hardest games, and I mean, you can turn up the difficulty by turning off visual clues and things like that to make it a little more difficult. But I mean, the story, the gameplay, the graphics, the sound, everything is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think anybody who plays this game is going to enjoy it at least a little bit. Even if you're, a jaded gamer and you don't like anything, you may enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a FPS player and an MMO player, and it kind of fits into both of those.
A little bit
enough that I don't normally play solo games anymore. I mean, I used to, of course.
Single player.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the hell out of it. I did.
Yeah. I mainly play single player games, but I mostly play RPGs and strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my bread and butter. But I mean, I thought it was really well done. And I think anybody who enjoys video games is going to like this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it being on Game Pass makes it even that much sweeter.
Absolutely. So that wraps it up for our A Plague's Tale Requiem review. I believe we gave it 4 thumbs up. It's a pretty good game. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care.